How's it going, everyone? My name is Trev Barnes. Thank you so much for stopping by for another video. While you're here, take your shoes off, kick your feet up, relax, because today we're going to be making an indie folk song for fall. I can't help it. This morning it was 44 degrees outside. I have slippers on. But before we begin this video, did you know that a large majority of you who watch these videos aren't actually subscribed? If you end up liking the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Just do it. Don't even worry about it. Also, instead of hydrating, we're going to be drinking coffee, which is the exact opposite of hydrating. Look at this mug. Look at it. So I wrote this song this morning called The Fall. Like I mentioned, it's a light indie folk kind of acoustic-y song. So we're actually going to start with acoustic guitar. I lied. We're going to start with shaker because I can't keep my time when I record just guitar and metronome. So the tempo is going to be a little slower. Probably 110 should be good. So I just went ahead and put a shaker on all the way through. We're just going to play guitar to it the whole song pretty much. So this morning we're going to be using the Seagull. It's Sitka spruce, it's super lightweight, but the strings are a little more worn in than the Martin. So I figure it's going to be kind of like a softer tone. I think too, I'm not going to use the pick just to give it a kind of a more softer sound. All right, so while I'm here and while I have this set up still, I'm going to go ahead and record the chorus acoustics just to double it. And that I will be using a pick just to kind of make it brighter, make it stand out a little differently. So I'm really only recording up to the first chorus. I don't have more of the song written, and I kind of just want it to be just an initial demo. But while we're here, let's go ahead and throw on our effects for our acoustic guitar. Of course, like always, we're using Slate's VMR. So this is the acoustic preset that I made a while ago. It's just a little too bright for the main guitar, so let's go ahead and take some of the highs out. We're also going to boost some of the mids. Now for the ones on the left and right, I'm just going to go ahead and put the preset on because I do want it to be a little brighter. So all together, this is what all the guitars sound like. So for drums, I'm going to use this preset that I made called the Tight Indie Kit. It's pretty much the default for EZdrummer 3's Tight Room kit with just a lot of compression, a lot of EQ. And of course, we're going to be playing our drums through the Korg Micro Key. There's a cheap USB keyboard. These drums sound like this. So I want the beginning to kind of just be open and then everything comes in here. And actually, since we're doing an intro, I made the mistake of not recording these guitars along with it. So we're just going to copy and paste those over. So for the verses, I think I want to kind of break it up into two parts. Maybe just leave it very bare in the beginning, like kind of like a Beatles Ticket to Ride type drums. Coffee break. All right, now let's record a chorus. All right, so I think that we got something pretty good. Honestly, indie folk is one of my favorite things to make. It's just very delicate and it doesn't really take a lot of instruments. There's definitely a less is more approach that needs to be taken. And that's not saying all indie folk needs to be like that. You could put hundreds of tracks if you want. But the way I like to approach it, again, less is more. I think it was Rick Rubin who said if you really want your instruments to stand out, then only really record one of that instrument. It gives it more of the perspective that you're in a room full of people playing these instruments versus me just at a computer doing most of these virtually. So of course we're gonna bring in an upright piano. So I added some additional notes, so this is what the piano sounds like. And what we're going to do, because some of these are a little softer than I'd like, we're of course going to go to MIDI transform, random velocity, and we are going to set our range. Let's do between 70 and 80. I feel like we should put some kind of like melody piano in there. All right, now let's copy over our piano onto the verses. We're actually going to make these softer. Everything in the verse is going to be quiet. So let's bring our random velocity range, maybe 60 to 50. Yeah, much better. And actually what I think we're going to do as well is take out the chords and just do the root note. So it's just going to be that octave. So next we're going to add a tambourine and we're just going to duplicate pretty much exactly what the shaker's doing. All right, so next I'm gonna add a bass. No, I'm not using the Synthete bass this time. So I'm gonna be using this Squire Jag bass, which I love. There's so many different sounds that you can get out of this thing. I would love to use my Hofner bass, but electronics are bad on it, but it would fit so perfectly in the song. So our signal chain, we're just running through this SVT and of course the virtual mix rack. I actually used a preset called the Warm Present bass and just made some adjustments in the mid-range just to give it kind of more of a punch. So I have a very punchy, very driven. I think the signal on my interface is a little too high, but that's okay because it's distorted it a little bit and we're okay with distortion. So now let's record guitars. I'm gonna use my Epiphone DOT 335. I usually use this for mainly rhythm. There's a lot of really good midtones that you can get out of this. It's also really pretty. Coffee break. So I think we're actually going to boost the gain and reverb up a little bit. This guitar is just going to sit in the back. It's not really going to be present. Let's move our microphone away from the center as well. We are also cranking our signal. So let's turn the guitar down. So just looking back at that, our signal is still way too high. I don't necessarily really have a problem with it, but for the sound that I'm going for, it's just being over compressed. The first thing I have going through my signal chain is a compressor, and it's just working a little too hard. This guitar's pickups are a little hot as well, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a noise gate. My G string sounds out of tune as well. And look at that. All right, so let's try it again. So I think for the lead part, I'm going to use this dobro slide, which if you don't know what a dobro is, that right there. that's a dobro. But you lay it across your lap and you play it kind of like a lap steel. So I'm gonna lay this guitar on my lap. What would it sound like if we added a harmony to that? You know, it'd be cool before the chorus, just like a. Let's see what that would sound like. Cool. So now we're gonna add some vocals. But first, coffee break.
Fall is calling, no more raining. My whole world is rehabilitating. Colder it gets, the more at home I feel.
Alrighty, so all the vocals and pretty much everything about the song is done. Now we are going to mix and master it. So just to glue everything together, we're going to be using the Teak A6100 Mark II from IK Multimedia, which this emulates a 1/4 inch mastering tape recorder. So let's hear how that sounds. So just so you hear what the actual plugin is doing, this is it without it. And this is it with it. We're also going to put on this Master Desk Classic, which just gives it some final punch. Stereo enhance it a little. And lastly, just to give it some final help, we're going to put Ozone 9 on it. All right, so I think we're pretty much done with the track. Hope you enjoy it. This one is called The Fall.
Leaves are falling, colors changing. My whole world is rearranging. The colder it gets, the more warm I feel. Fall is calling, no more raining. My whole world is rehabilitating. The colder it gets, the more at home I feel. Spend some time to find your pace. Slow it down. No need to race. No need to race. Everything I wanted
Thank you guys so much again for watching this. I do genuinely hope that you enjoyed it. I am really enjoying these let's make a song type videos that I've been doing. They kind of just put me on the spot and force me to be creative, and it constantly challenges me as a producer. So if you're a producer who wants to grow, I recommend maybe just trying something out like this. Make a video. Thank you guys so much again for watching. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe. It really helps me out in the long run, and I will see you again in next week's video. Peace.